All right. All right. Putting the phone down. Phones away. Phones away. Welcome to another episode of Facebook Evil Live. This is episode 24. I'll remember Halloween. Our main topic for this evening is going to be talking about the live MSG show, Madison Square Garden Halloween show that they did last October 2019. But before we get there, we got to talk about a couple other things. I just want to take a moment, first and foremost, to do two shout outs for those who have joined the coffee club. We have David Sinella, who I went to high school with. Haven't seen this guy in many years. From what I see, he's doing pretty well, and he donated, and so he's been added to the executive producers list for 1979. They came from Lodi, 1979, a year of horror business, and also Umberto, who took the journey with us for his book Scream With Me. Umberto has also joined the coffee club. He is now also an executive producer on 1979. If you want to be a producer of 1979, which if you don't know what that is it's a feature length. I just clocked in actually, because I'm pretty much got the total running time down. It's about 3 hours and 12 minutes. It's a super long episode, except this episode is way different than anything we've done in the past because it involves tons and tons of archival audio and video and pictures. It's a multimedia extravaganza of really just showcasing the year 1979, but it starts from the beginning. It starts at the beginning of the band, really the beginning of rock and roll. So, because you have to look at the beginning of rock and roll to get to punk, and you got to look at punk before you can get to the Misfits. And then in order to look at 1979, you need to look at Cough Cool, and you need to look at Static Age. So I got a little carried away, but it's a good kind of carried away. Nick says, hold the MSG with my wonton soup. Haha. Nick is also an avid Iggy Pop and the Stooges fan, and he has a group called the Stoogeholics. Nick, why don't you put that link in the comments for anybody who is a fan of the Stooges? This group is great, run by Nick, who's also a talented artist. So there you go. That's a shout out to Nick as well. So as I was saying, if you want to become an executive producer, buy a cup of coffee, support the cause that is this creation of this content. In addition, John says, wait, is there going to be a documentary named They Came From Lodi? Yes, John, that's what this all is. This is all about a documentary called They Came From Lodi. I started working on a documentary. Watch the first episode, John. The project They Came From Lodi is a documentary about the Misfits, and this podcast video, whatever you want to call it, and the Facebook group and everything on the Facebook page, that's all an extension of They Came From Lodi, which is the Lodi Project. That's what it is. So yes, there is. I don't know if you're joking or being serious, but that is indeed. I find myself explaining it all the time. Yes, there is a documentary called They Came From Lodi. That is separate from 1979. I don't know how long that's going to be. But yeah, making some really good leeway progress. I posted some screenshots of the first 34 minutes and how many cuts there are. I mean, I've never put anything together so complicated. I've never tried to weave a narrative from so many different sources, media sources before. It's really been, it's been wonderful. Truly. It makes me wonder how other documentary projects I was involved with would have turned out. I guess we'll never find out. What else can I say right now about, oh yeah. So I added a couple of things. So listen, if you can't buy a cup of coffee, that's cool. Go on Frumess.com, click on some of those ads, AdSense pennies, the pennies in the AdSense account. You heard that one before too. Additionally, I've also linked movies that I've made. I have a lot of movies available for rent on VOD. If you'd like to support the cause, you can do that by renting Romeo's Distress, which is my feature-length film, micro-budget film. Check it out, $2. What else can I sling at you guys? Oh, this one's big. Okay, so it's not ready yet. I was trying to have it ready for this broadcast. I'm really annoyed. So I created a web store. I created a storefront for I guess you could call it horror punk. We'll call it horror punk inspired shirts. And the reason why I did it's like a fulfillment, it's like a apparel fulfillment website, because I personally do not want to deal with all that stuff. And I would rather have a professional, if anybody does order something, I'd rather have it a professional service take care of it with the highest quality, t-shirts available, that whole sort of thing. A tiny portion of the revenue will go to the They Came from Lodi Legal Fund, which may or may not come into the picture in the future. Thomas Mustache says, Lord of the Rings trilogy style, They Came from Lodi. Oh my goodness, with the amount of material I have, it could be. It really could be. I mean, 1979 was supposed to be an hour. I was not intending it to be 3 hours and 12 minutes, and it is 3 hours and 12 minutes. So, Jesus Christ. I mean, I could have kept adding. There were things that I was like, oh no, this is just too frivolous. This is just too frivolous. I have to cut it. So there's that. Okay, so I can't actually show you. I can't show it to you guys. I can't show you the t-shirts. You know what? Fuck it. I'll show you one design. I'm going to show you one. No. Should I wait? I'll leave it as a surprise. You'll see it. I'm going to post it. Just beware. There would be opportunities to buy t-shirts. I think the t-shirts are really cool. And here's the thing about the t-shirts. This is all I'm going to say about them before we start. Before we dive into our material this week. Thing to recognize about these t-shirts, folks. They are inside jokes. If you are not a fan of this band, this is not spoon-fed to you. If you are not a fan of this band, you're going to be like, why the fuck did he put that on a t-shirt? But if you are a fan of this band, you are just going to go, ha, ha, you're going to love it. Craig says, make one long edit eventually. You know what, Craig? I'm going to show you something. I am going to show you something, Craig. Shit. Fuck, where's that wire? Oh, man. One long edit. I know you're not challenging me or anything. I know it was a simple request. I just want to show you what a long edit is. Might as well, right? Since we're here, since we're going there. Give this 1 second to fire up. I'll just keep talking. I'll keep talking turkey while we do that. All right, so here's what Nick posted. So again, if you are a fan of the Stooges, check out Nick's Stooges page. Again, I am a huge fan of the Stooges. I'm not as fanatical about the Stooges. Like Nick would definitely school me on Stooges stuff. He probably knows. I mean, he seems to know everything of the Stooges. He knows a lot about the Stooges. Iggy at the second reunion show, Iggy Pop dedicated Dirt to him. That kind of blew my mind. Holy shit, what an honor that must have been. Okay, here, I'm popping this open. This one's for Craig. Craig, I dedicate this to you. Okay? All those little guys, they go, okay. Hold on 1 second. One moment. All right, here, let's push this down. Minimize that. Share the screen. We're going to share the screen. How do I do that? Right. Share the screen. Got it. Sharing that sucker. Okay. You'll see in just a moment. You will see in just a moment. It's coming. I promise it's coming. I think. Terrible performance anxiety right now my computer is having. Here, let's look at these skeletons. These are some skeletons. Oh, there it is. Never mind. Boom. See that, Craig? Craig, buddy? Look at that shit. You see all those goddamn cuts? Look how big this monster is. I don't know. Let's go out to the TRT. The TRT, that's industry code for total running time. Yes, I see there's a giant gap in there, but so the total running time is 3 hours. You can't see that right there. That is 3 hours and 34 minutes and 6 seconds. Obviously, we have this gap right here, as you can see. So the gap is kind of taken out. You know what? Just for let's get what the actual total running time. I believe it's 3 hours and 12 minutes. Let's see. Oh, and I was wrong. It's actually 3 hours and 16 minutes long. So that is the total running time of They Came From Lodi. And as you can see, don't want to spoil too much here, but as you can see, let's see what else we can really. There is the credit section. Here we go. As you can see, some of you have seen some of this already in the some of you have seen this in the group. If you don't belong to the group, join the group. So this is all the executive producers who have bought coffee. All of your names are here for the executive director, and those who have contributed twice, they have a little X2 next to it because I thought, you know, we should signify that. And yeah, there's a lot in here. There is a ton. There is so much stuff packed to the gills right there. Okay. Epic is the way I would call this epic. I think I feel pretty epic about it personally. All right, enough of that. So let's stop sharing for a moment. What's next on my little to-do list? Actually, let's go back to sharing because we're gonna. So the next thing I wanted to talk about real quick, in the interim here, you know, people share fun, interesting stuff on the Facebook wall, or I see stuff and then I share it, and I always forget to talk about it on the episodes. I share it in between the episodes. So I just wanted to touch on a couple of things real quick. Number one, it is we have a birthday today. And that birthday is, wow. I really need like a show producer. I need someone who can it's Franche Coma's birthday. Happy birthday, Frank Licata. Frank's son, Frank Jr., is an active member here. And I just think it's so cool. It must be so cool for Frank Jr. to be, like, a fan of his dad's band, and like it's like his dad is a part of that history. What a cool experience that must be. So a shout out to Franche Coma, who played guitar on some of my favorite songs in all of existence, on that very guitar, I believe. Right here, let's see what this says. This is from the original Misfits Fiend Crypt. A little tribute to Franche Coma from Aaron from the original Misfits Fiend Crypt. Hey, Fiends, today, 63 years ago in Lodi, New Jersey, Frank Licata was born. Fiends, of course, know him by the name of Franche Coma, a stage name which was given to him by Jerry Only and Glenn Danzig. Frank began playing guitar at age 12 with several instructors and had formal training in jazz guitar. Frank took up the open guitar slot in the Misfits in October of 1977 and will perform his first show with the band, or first show with them, on October 30th, 1977. That's the show that we've spoken about here. Go back to the first episodes and we can we'll talk all about that show. He would also find himself in the studio with the group a short time later in January and February of 1978. His guitar can be heard on many of the Misfits' early recordings, the Bullet and Beware songs 1 through 4 EPs, as well as the unofficially released Static Age album. Just 1 year after he joined the group, he would leave the band, reportedly due to his dislike of touring. I would say that's one contributing factor. In October of 1978, having performed 17 shows with them, and then joined Active Ingredients. I love Active Ingredients. Guys, if you don't know Active Ingredients, seek this band out. So Ashley Morantz, his brother Chris, is in this other band. Right? Chris or Mike, I forgot, or maybe there's three brothers. I don't know. The Morantz family. I hope I'm not butchering that. The other guy, he's in Morning Noise with Steve Zing. His brother Ashley was in a band with Frank here, and they put out a couple of EPs, single EPs or whatever. The music is phenomenal. I wish that they recorded a whole album's worth of songs. Ashley Morantz is a genius. He also did that Eerie Listening album with Eerie Von and Marino. I thought it was Morantz. Pat Licata here, the other son of Frank. Tell your dad I say happy birthday to him. Wish him a very happy birthday. This is a great photo. I believe in the basement, in the den, where Frank keeps all his guitars hanging up. Funny thing, Frank had a side project called Franche. I don't know if Pat, do you know whatever happened in the music? Why didn't he put out this project? He gave me a t-shirt when I came over to your house. He gave me a t-shirt when I came over to the house, and it just says Franche on it. And it's like this fancy logo. And then no music ever came from it. I would love to hear that friggin' music. We would all love to hear that music. I hope that some of it exists and that he puts it out in some way, shape, or form. But I still have that shirt. I have that shirt somewhere in my archive, somewhere deep in the recesses. I should dig it out. I'll take a picture of it. It must be some sort of collector's item in some way, shape, or form, in the same way that those Active Ingredients 7 inches are. So seek out Active Ingredients, Frank's other band. It's friggin' awesome. Oh, Pat says, you never know, wink. Okay, that's cool. To be continued. Oh, okay. We gotta get Frank on here sometime. Hear what he has to say. Nick says, I wonder if any of these fleeting members have any old cassette or 4-track recordings, shows, or any lost hits, Harpies in the Night. You know, Nick, you really have to listen to the first episode of this show, where we talk about Frank's first show with the band. I've heard that tape. I've heard the tape. Manny played it for me, and I got to listen to crazy Lost Misfits songs: West End Avenue, Infant Stranger, Lullaby, and what I believe to be Harpies in the Night. I've been told otherwise. So we've talked about that stuff. I've tried to hum it. West End Avenue, West End Avenue, West End Avenue, doom, 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 doom. What was the other one? Real. Okay, so anyway, Active Ingredients, check them out. Yes, Nick, go back and listen to the first friggin' 3 episodes of this show. They're on my YouTube channel. I'll send them to you after, not right now when I'm broadcasting. I'll send them to you. Check them out. I think you will really appreciate them. They are the nerdiest of the nerdy when it comes to Misfits related content. So Frank left in October of 1978. He performed 17 shows that we know of, and then joined Active Ingredients, two 7-inch singles in 1980. In 2006, he joined the Misfits on stage for 3 Static Age era songs. I did not know there were 3. I thought he only did Teenagers from Mars. Having taken a long hiatus from the business, he's currently working on his own music band. Okay, I didn't finish reading that. I guess he's still working on Franche. Yeah. That's what I was saying. Mike Morantz is Ashley's other name. He also goes by Ashley Morantz. He's released music as Ashley Morantz. Pat, I'm such a fan of Active Ingredients. I think it's so I love those songs. They're friggin' phenomenal, man. Truly. Laundry Boy. Guys, check this out. You can find it on YouTube. Right. Okay. Thank you for clarifying. So Pat says Chris was Morning Noise, Mike and Chris, Marino, aka Morantz. Got it. Yeah, I always get lots of names, very confused. Ashley came over, or Mike came over to your dad's house, whatever, your dad's house. Laundromat Loverboy. That's the name of the song. It is good. Birds on a Wire, I think, is another one. I really, really love the 4 songs, man. Just phenomenal. And I believe Frank played bass on those. He did not play guitar. That was Ashley / Mike playing guitar. Okay. In any case, happy birthday, Frank. Another thing that I'm very sad. I'm sad that Mr. Jim and Franche Coma were supposed to do, they had like a Static Age project that they were going to do. It never came to fruition for reasons that are not, that I will not get into here. But I would have loved to have seen that happen too. That I would be remiss not to say something about that, because that would have been the shit, I think. And yeah, I just think we should have some Franche Coma music out there. Okay, enough about that. Happy birthday, Frank. We're gonna X that out. Next thing I want to talk about. All right, this really surprised me. Okay, so see, I have everything lined up. Isn't that great? This really surprised me. Okay, this is this band Voice of Doom. I had never really heard of them. I guess London May, the original incarnation from the 80s, featured London May at one point. Our buddy John, who is an active member here in, I don't know what you call this, whatever, our Lodi community. John is the current lead vocalist for Voice of Doom. And he did such a bang up job on the vocals for this that I want to play it for you now. I encourage everybody here. I'll put the link in the description. I think we did last time. I really want to highlight independent music if I can. So that's the link right there. This is Voice of Doom, John Steinhammer, aka John Voice of Doom, whatever you want to call him. He did Wolf's Blood and Daemonomania with this band. And, you know, Wolf's Blood is not an easy song to sing, as we all know from trying to sing it in the car. You cannot sing that shit. It is not easy to sing that song. You don't talk no. The phrasing is terribly difficult to manifest. And I think John handles the vocal phrasing so well that I'm going to play it for you bootleg style, because I don't know how else to play music on here. So forgive me for how shitty this might sound. Hopefully John's vocals come through. All right, ready? I'm going to turn the mic towards my speakers. Hopefully you should all be able to hear this. I'm going to play this right now. What's up, Rue? How you doing? Cough cool, Rue. All right, ready? Let me know if you can hear this. No wire dead. Whoa. Ooh, that was excellent. I don't know how that sounded for you guys. But yeah, that was I really am stoked on that cover. I think it's great. So check out those guys. That's VOD, Voice of Doom. All right, that's another one. Another thing I'd like to highlight, my buddy Robbie Bloodshed, who has an album coming out sometime tomorrow, or has not really been on my radar. But Robbie's been working on this album for 2 years. I like to support Robbie because him and I go way back. We made, I've known Robbie almost 10 years now. We've made 5 music videos together, and he did a phenomenal cover of She that I just thought, man, I really dug this a lot. I thought this was really fucking cool. People don't pay a lot of attention to She. People don't pay a lot of attention to Cough Cool. I like that. In the middle of a live set, you go over to a piano and you hit the keys and you just play She. So I really wanted to just highlight that. I just think it's really great. And I forget the name of Robbie's album. I have it. Hold on. Let's if we're gonna do this, let's do it right. Robbie's album is so here. I'll play this for you now, and I'll look for Robbie's album. Support independent music. Hold on. Let's listen to this. This is Robbie Bloodshed and his Robbie Bloodshed band doing She. Whoop.
All right, let's do it.
So right here is where you can check out Robbie's new album. It's been 2 years in the making. Some of these songs have 160 tracks on them. I don't know if that's a lot or a little for recording, as I am not a recording artist, but it seems like a lot to me. And Robbie is he's a 100% independent outfit, going out there swinging for the fences. So check him out, support his music. He's got some covers on here too. Let's see what he's got here. Track list, you got, I could have sworn I saw a cover. Maybe, I don't know. I get emails from him through Bandcamp. I love Bandcamp. Bandcamp is great for discovering stuff. And here's the cover right here. That's a cool cover. I like it. I like the way it's done. It's very, you could definitely tell there's some Static Age influence there in the design. It's so easy. We always riff and rip off the Static Age artwork, but it's hard to replicate your own stuff. And so I think that was done very tastefully, very well here. So check that out as well. Little tip of the hat for Robbie there. This is my website. So this is where you can rent VOD. It's actually, my website's so fucked up. It's so fucked up. I gotta fix this. This is my movie. It's called Romeo's Distress. Here's the trailer. I'll play you the trailer real quick, and then we'll get into this thing. So if this intrigues you, hold on.
Uncle Elmo, have you ever been in love?
There you go on the love thing again. You're always speaking of it. It seems to be the reason behind the actions you've taken.
I even try to forget about her, but I just can't.
What is more important than your love?
No,
That's right.
nothing is more important than love.
That's right. You must just seize the day. Carpe diem.
Carpe diem.
No, scream it. Carpe diem.
I think it's time we acted.
Like what we talked about. Family. You really put a price on something like that. On your family's security?
I know you're up to something, huh?
How hard can we really go on, as hard as we want?
You can do whatever you want to me, but it will never change the fact how much I care about your daughter.
Available for rent on VOD for $2 on Vimeo. So check out that link. I'll put that in the comments. Oh, look at this. John says, we need you to produce a video for us. John, you got it. We'll talk, man. I don't know if you have my email. You'd find my official email somewhere, and we can discuss that further at some point. That sounds good to me. Okay, here is our main topic here is, so if you go to my website, go to my blog, right? This was called Frumess. I remember Halloween. You can follow along here. That is, by the way, that old woman is my now 92-year-old grandmother, who will do anything for me. I love her so dearly, and she will do anything for me, including act in my movies. So yeah. All right. So now we're going to talk about this show. Okay. Let's discuss here. I'm going to switch that for a minute. Before we get to the content. Okay. So, so we've talked about like the thing that we talked about when we went over the Riot Fest show, and I can really only review the shows I was at, right? The thing that we talked about at great length for the Riot Fest show was like the sort of surreal aspects of being a Misfits fan and getting into them after 2016, or getting into them like maybe in 2015. And, waiting a year, or not even waiting any time at all to go see this band. While the rest of us, who spent years and years and years and years languishing, waiting, hoping. By the way, real quick, I totally forgot to post this shit before I get into that song you heard in the trailer for Romeo's Distress. That is, oh, never mind. That was Nimvind. In any case, look up Nimvind. They're a great fucking band. Check them out. Big fan of Nimvind. So, well, yes. Okay, great. Cool. We'll talk, John. We'll talk. Tell you, 5 videos, Robbie Bloodshed. He never had any complaints. That fuck. All right. Anyway, enough of that. Enough of negativity. Back to the topic at hand. So there are people out there that never experienced the long wait that the rest of us did for, trying to see a reunion like that. I've talked about all this already. I don't want to rehash it, but the point is that there's some people that like it's not. None of this is. I feel like this was not as special for them because the significance of the waiting. There was a huge. That was a huge element in seeing these reunion shows. In any case, there have been a whole slew of reunion shows now. There's been like 12, 13. I guess you can kind of call, AC Slade and Dave Lombardo are as much of the, are essentially members on some level. They're members of the Misfits in the same way that, Brain Damage is a member of the Misfits, or Todd Swallow is a member of the Misfits, or Rick Riley or Barry Ryan or Diane DiPiazza. All these people, played with the band but didn't record with the band, but they've done. This is an incredibly stable lineup. This lineup has lasted over 4 years. That's longer than Jerry, Doyle, and Glenn previously. Kind of crazy when you think about it like that, in that sort of way. And the reunion shows in general have been really, really great. We've again, another thing we've talked about at great length. They're playing, they're firing on all cylinders. They're playing at the top of their game. They're crushing it. They're crushing it out there for the most part. They're, Glenn can still sing in that Misfits register. He's singing those songs great. Doyle is doing his Doyle thing, and Jerry's better than he's ever been, personally, in my opinion. Jerry is so, he's a magnum opus. Power slides on the stage, thickening things up with those backup vocals for Glenn, just sort of adding so much stage presence, stage personality, breaking the bases. Yeah, man. Jerry's crushing it. He is crushing it. And I really can't understate that enough. I really can't overstate that enough. In any case, so in general, all of the shows have been great, right? That's not what we're talking about here. However, there's one set of circumstances that I had been waiting for in regards to the Misfits. A hometown show that was not New Jersey, that was New York, because the Misfits are a New York band. We've talked about this also before. A Halloween show, and a show in a venue of great reputation, and all of those things combined last October in 2019. And again, I don't want to rub it in for the people that could not afford to do a show, go to the show. For some people, it's not within their means. Me personally, I financed my tickets. I financed them on my credit card. That's what I did. That's how I saw the Misfits every time. I was like, I have to be in the pit. There's no way that I'm not going to be in the pit. And I've never paid $300 to see a band ever. It's never happened for me. The first time it was $150 with Riot Fest. The second time was $300, and the third time was $300. And after this last time, this MSG show, if I never see them again, I'll be okay. I feel okay with that. Because again, not only was it at MSG, like pretty much the biggest venue that you possibly could see them in New York, the most iconic, the venue with the most prestige, right? It was also a Halloween show. It was also a hometown show, and the Damned were opening for them 40 years after they got opened for the Damned and got kicked off their tour. Could you imagine for a moment, 10 years ago, someone said, like in a fan forum, that sounds like something that someone made up in Misfit Central. Someone's going, well, what if they played Madison Square Garden and the Damned opened for them and it was Halloween? How cool would that be? Clickety clap, tap, tap, tap. And everybody just be like, all right, like enough with the fan fiction. It sounds like fan fiction to me, but it's not. It's real. All the photos you're going to see in this article, I took myself. These are my photos. So there's this moment, and I don't know why you can't zoom in on it. You should be able to lightbox that, but I guess it's giving me, no, why did that happen? No. How do I make that bigger? I want to see the photo. In any case, this photo really summed it up. Just watching these, looking at these three fucking guys, just marveling over their incredible accomplishment. Just all looking at each other. It was just such a moment. And this was the show where I broke my golden rule. I never, I saw the Misfits 3 times. 2 of those 3 times, I never took out my phone, not once, while they played. I didn't do it. I just didn't do it. This time, however, I recorded a bunch of the stage banter because I just wanted to have it as a souvenir, and I'm actually going to play it for you. I'm going to play you the stage banter now, not now, but as we get into it, because it's just like it's so memorable. It's more memorable than having them than watching them cover Astro Zombies, not cover, play Astro Zombies or whatever. For me, the stage banter meant more. And so I was like, I'm going to just get the stage banter in between songs, which makes sense because I'm in the pit, and the pit is, chaotic, violent. It wasn't as violent as Chicago. I think Riot Fest Chicago was one of the most violent shows that I've ever witnessed. It was violent. It was violent. People got hurt. Actually, that's not true. Someone got knocked out cold. I don't know if it was New Jersey or if it was New York, but someone got knocked out cold on the floor, and people were trying to drag him away before the next song started. And the band, they didn't hear us. We were all screaming out to the Jerry and Doyle and Glenn to be like, "Yo, stop it, stop," because this guy was gonna get trampled, and he was out cold. All right, let me read this thing. So this is like my other article, right? This is an eyewitness firsthand account of this show as I remember it. So I'm going to read it for you, and we'll play the thing and yada, 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 1, 2, 3, XYZ. Happy Halloween. There is nothing more fitting to hear from Glenn Danzig right before he and the Misfits launch into the song itself. In October, in New York City, at sold-out Madison Square Garden, with the Damned opening, 40 years after the Misfits opened for them at Hurrah's. Okay, so like that's basically everything I just said to you, reiterated right then and there. This is from Billy. So Billy Stone on Brian Swirsky. Brian is I guess he was a guy from around back then, and also Brian is I think he's a tour manager. He did tour managing for the Sonics and a bunch of other bands. Billy Stone was in a band called The Blessed with Howie Pyro, and they also had Walter Lure in the band. Billy Stone is in my documentary, the documentary They Came from Lodi, and this was his comment right here. Just for the record and a bit of trivia, not to blow my own horn, I prefer someone else to do that. But the whole thing, those 2 bands opening was arranged by moi. My first band, The Blessed, were booked to do that. Our manager, Eileen Polk, had retired, and I was managing the band. So Eileen Polk was not only a fan of, friend, was not only a good friend of Glenn and Jerry, but was also managing The Blessed, and she was a photographer, and she took a lot of pictures. A lot of those Night of Living Dead pictures, a lot of like the 1979 Horror Business Night of Living Dead pictures were taken by Eileen Polk. Okay. That's who she is. So she managed The Blessed, right? So she was really like around back then. It was to be called the Damned, Blessed, Damned Nights. 2 nights. The first night we would go on first, and the second night the Damned would go on first, essentially opening for us. The Blessed were like little kids. Howie was young. Billy was young. All these guys were a super young band. They were almost like a novelty. It was a novelty how young they were. They never recorded an official album. I don't know if they ever got a record deal. They used to do shows with the Misfits. Howie was good friends with Glenn and Jerry. We read his quotes and Scream With Me last week, about making buttons with Jerry. I mean, those guys got into a lot of trouble. And then Howie would later go on to play bass for Glenn around 2002 on the I Luciferi album 777 and toured the world with Glenn. so that's the connection. So the Blessed, just the way that the Victims were like a brother band with the Misfits, and the Necros were like a brother band with the Misfits, so were the Damned. All of these happened at different times. The Victims were friends with, in cahoots with the Misfits from 77, 78, the Blessed 1979, and then the Necros pretty much from 1980 to 1981 to 1983, right? So that kind of like frames everything up. So Eileen Polk helped put it together. But our guitarist at the time refused to do it, having been on the Anarchy tour. So the guitarist he's talking about is Walter Lure, who I also interviewed for this documentary. So he's also in my movie. Walter Lure was in the Heartbreakers with Johnny Thunders from the New York Dolls. He's pretty big potatoes in that scene. The Heartbreakers were like a fucking ginormous band, Max's Kansas City band, back in the day. And their fame really coming from the ashes of having two New York Doll members, Jerry Nolan and Johnny Thunders. And before Billy Rath joined, also in the documentary, Richard Hell was the bass player. So Walter played guitar for Billy and the Blessed, and did not want to do these shows with the Damned. So the band had to pull out because they didn't have a guitar player. So I had to bow out, which Haraz was not happy about, as posters were being printed. So I suggested the Misfits and the Stimulators, who they were not all too familiar with. And I contacted each band and put everyone together, and the rest is whatever. I think the success all the various bands have had is fantastic, and any book, especially the ones that are due to come out in the near future. This is the true and unadulterated facts. I only believe in the truth, no matter how hard and brutal. Leave others to their myths. So that's Billy tooting his own horn, rightfully so. And that really did that, you're gonna hear me say over and over again, in 1979, a year of horror business, that really did put the Misfits on the map, man. It really did. That show with the Damned at Haraz was fucking huge, explosive. That's what led to them doing the Irving Plaza show, headlining Irving Plaza in 1979, which was a big feat in and of itself as well. This is what I wrote. I put Misfits Central, RIP Misfits Central. This is not the original logo. Everybody remembers the original logo to Misfits Central. Man, that's something to put on a t-shirt. This is not some Misfits nerd fantasy written on Misfits Central in 2007. Whoa, imagine if like Glenn and Jerry reunited for a sold out New York City Halloween show, and like the Damned opened, and they had Dave Lombardo from Slayer on drums, and it was at Madison Square Garden. That would be so sick. That would be amazing to see. I know it will never happen, though. That's exactly the type of comment you would hear on Misfits Central. That really happened. That actually happened. That blows my mind. That blows my mind. And it blows my mind that they're like these fuckers that didn't have to wait 15 years for that shit. And some of them had to wait fucking 30 years for that shit. Whatever. Just kind of blows my mind. Here's me with my friend Rich. And this is right before the show began. This is blah, 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 blah. The time is nigh. Rich and I waiting for death to rip our backs out. No, actually, that really just happened. October 18th, 2019. 6 years to the day after Danzig and Doyle played a Misfit set at the Roseland Ballroom, RIP. I was at that show. Some interesting hijinks happened at that show. Remind me to tell you about the legend of the Wishbone Ranch dressing. As the days counted down to this historic event, I pored over its connotations many, many times in my mind, reveling in how significant and validating it is for the band, the fiends, the fans, and the punk rock community as a whole. A grand victory. And it was true, man. It was a grand fucking victory. I've heard some people debunked that, the Misfits were not the first band to sell out Madison Square Garden or play Madison Square Garden, yada, yada, yada. That the Clash had done it or somebody else had done it, I forget. But I don't believe that to be true. I think it was the Misfits, man. And even so, still, the fucking Misfits sold out Madison Square Garden. That's unfucking believable. Think about that. This band that would play to 50 people a night, driving around in a rinky-dink van, would, 36 years later, be opening at Madison Square Garden to a sold-out audience. And the lineups that were in the audience that night. Okay, ready for this? You had 3/4 of Samhain. Steve, Pete, and Glenn were there, right? You had the Jerry only lineup of the Misfits. Des Cadena, the Goat, Eric the Chupacabra Goat guy, Eric Aker, whatever, was there, and motherfucking Jerry. So you had that lineup of the band. I believe Franche Coma was there, right? Wait, I'm going to post that comment. Hold on. I don't want to lose this thought. I believe that 3/4 of the Static Age lineup were there because you had Frank, Jerry, and Glenn, right? So that's another lineup. Then you had the entire current lineup of Danzig also there. Then you had 3/4 of the Misfits 95 were there. That's right. 3/4 of the Misfits 95, everybody but Michael Graves was at that show. Who else was there? I'm trying to think of all. I mean, this is what was really blowing my mind. I'm thinking about all the fucking lineups that were you had the classic line of the Misfits there. Yeah, Pat confirms that Frank was there. So you had the 3/4 of the Static Age. So you had 3/4 of all these different lineups at this. So we had the Static Age lineup. We had Samhain. We had Danzig. We had the Jerry only Misfits. We had Misfits 95. We had the classic lineup of the Misfits. That's 5 iterations. You had all the members of Sardonica there. You had who else was fucking there? I'm trying to think. I don't know. That's all that comes to mind right now. Still, that's kind of amazing when you think about it. You had 2/3 of the Cough Cool lineup there. All these crazy lineups were there. It just kind of like, as a Misfits nerd to be at that show, there was a lot of overlap. Robbie Bloodshed, who we were just highlighting on this very show, says, I'm 99% sure that one of the mysterious fellas at that show with the ranch dressing stole a package of Hanes underwear from the backstage. Yes. That was not me. That was another person. There were some hijinks. One day I will tell the story of the ranch dressing, the legend of the ranch dressing. One of the greatest experiences of my life. Like, truly, one of the greatest experiences of my concert going life happened at that Roseland show, seeing Danzig with Doyle. It was fucking great. Who else was at that show? The mother chick was at that show. She was trying to talk to Doyle. It was really funny. Oh, Pat Licata says Volbeat was there. That's pretty cool. All right. Anyway, back to as the days counted down to this historic event, I pored over its connotations many, many times in my mind, reveling in how significant and validating it is for the band, the fiends, the fans, and the punk rock community as a whole. A grand victory. I've seen the spectacle twice before. Chicago Riot Fest and New Jersey's Prudential Center. I was not a big fan of the Prudential Center performance. That was the day that Glenn's mother died. And he went out and fucking, if ever there was a reason to cancel a fucking show, it's because your mother dies. And Glenn fucking went out and did his fucking all for that show. Prudential was not my favorite. A lot of people were like, "Whoa, it was the best show ever." No, I think MSG. Riot Fest was the best show ever because it was my first, but MSG was the best show ever because it was the best. It was the fucking best. They sounded better than any of the other times, both on YouTube or seeing them live and in the flesh, I think. And while the Chicago show will always be burned into my mind as the greatest of the three, I think the New York City MSG is my favorite. It is their true homecoming show. You hear everyone talk all the time about Jersey being the hometown show, but that is inaccurate. Although the Misfits are from Lodi, New Jersey, they are actually a New York band, as I've said. Maybe their beginnings when they were still the Static Age band, but even not really, because they were playing Max's Kansas City. Maybe when they were the Cough Cool band, they were playing in Lodi mostly. But I mean, their first two shows were at CBGB's showcases. So what does that say, right? They're a New York band. They are actually a New York band and played New York City far more than they ever played New Jersey before they became a true touring band in 81 and 82. I've conducted many interviews over the years. This is true. I've conducted many interviews over the years. And the thing that I hear most from people in the late 70s, early 80s punk scene was that the Misfits only came out to play New York City around Halloween time, or only on Halloween, in quotes. This is, of course, not completely true, as any Misfits nerd who has memorized Misfits Central or spent a fortune collecting flyers will tell you, but it is a part of the band's original mythology and further deepens the significance of an October show. What's going on, Russell Casualty? How are you? Butter dread on bread. That was great. So the significance of an October Halloween show is grand. It's pretty significant, pretty spectacular. Okay, oh my god, they're ready. Oh my god, this is so fucking cool. All right. This will be the last thing that I show, and we'll show it also. I will unveil this. I'm not going to do it now, but I'm going to unveil this before we leave here today. Okay, I have a surprise. I have the surprise. The surprises are ready. Again, some of whoever watches this again, we don't do this for the live show. We do this this is to archive on YouTube. Whoever sees this is gonna go, what? I don't understand why you put that on a t-shirt. But if you are a fan of this fucking band, you will fucking understand. Especially if you used to go to Misfit Central, you will fucking love this. You will really love this. That's where I was going for when I made the shirt. I've got a bunch of other designs that are fucking coming. I'm trying to open up the t-shirt apparel side of things, whatever. In any case, back to this article, because it is late and I do gotta get my kids up tomorrow. So an October show is significant because this band is a Halloween band. They only play on Halloween. It's important. I had never seen the Damned, and they were excellent. I had passed up the Damned. The Damned played at Irving Plaza with TS motherfucking OL, one of my favorite bands, TSOL, and I missed it. I missed that show. I was so mad. But I got to see the Damned with the Misfits, and they were excellent. It's amazing to see a band that has consistently been playing for 43 years still sound so tight. It's true. The Damned sound phenomenal 43 years after their inception, and they've consecutively been playing. I mean, there was that little gap in the 90s where Dave was doing the Phantom chords, but they've been playing this entire time, pretty much. They worked the crowd with their jovial, mischievous chemistry on stage. At one point, their keyboardist, Monty Oxymoron, leaves his keys to dance like a madman between Monty Oxymoron leaves his keys to dance like a madman between Dave Vanian and Captain Sensible. Eventually, Monty accidentally knocks Vanian's mic out of his hand, and Vanian mischievously, I used mischievously twice. I should have used the thesaurus for that. Passes by Monty and his keyboards to bash the keys. What a fun band. Hell fucking yeah. Go see the Damned if you have a chance. I wish I knew more of Rancid's catalog. They were also great and further added to the crowd's energy, turning them into a frenzy. There were a ton of Rancid fans on the floor. While I appreciate them and their music, I didn't like that the Damned went first and felt like they should have been direct support to the Misfits with a longer set. Not sure of who was in charge of that decision, but I found it disrespectful. That's true, man. I don't know why Rancid had no business being the direct support for the Misfits. It should have been the Damned. That's the way it should have gone down. That bummed me out greatly, truly greatly. The Misfits came out and everything exploded. Literally, it exploded. Kaboom. Epic as ever. The sound was perfect. Everyone was firing on all cylinders. Glenn's voice was top notch. There was there was minimal power sliding from Jerry, much to my dismay. So I forgot that. I guess Jerry did not do as much power sliding as he had previously, but the energy between Jerry and Glenn felt positive. Doyle shined in the spotlight with his Some Kind of Hate guitar solo. He did, Doyle. Every time Jerry would break a bass, which he would sometimes punch in half. That's right. He would just hold up the bass and just punch that motherfucker till it shattered. Glenn would playfully joke about how angry Jerry is with his heaps and tons of basses. It warmed my black heart. Okay, here's actually the banters right here. Okay, so I'm gonna play this right now. You're gonna try my best. This was some of the banter that we heard that night. I hope I don't get flagged for this. I'm going to eat you. Sold out. Unfucking believable.
Fucking, I'll talk a little bit. This one's called I Turned Into a Martian. They said a punk band would never headline Madison Square Garden. So here the fuck we are, not only did we headline and bring some of us, we still a motherfucker out. Everybody. Y'all know I love this city. I grew up here. All these guys see me from here and play here. This is bittersweet for both of us. All right, let's fuck shit up. This is called 20 Eyes. All right, you know what? I think I just intro Jerry. I think I should introduce everybody else. That's Doyle. He's a big motherfucker, isn't he? Over there on second guitar, AC Slade.
God, could you imagine being AC Slade?
Holy shit. You know who this is.
All right, get ready to watch this.
This next one is our third single. This is called Hard Business. Okay, well, I wait for Jerry to get one of his mini bases. You guys all having a good time tonight? Hell yeah, that's why we're here. What about you motherfuckers up there? You think I don't see you? I can see you. Well, anyway, Halloween is a special time of year for all of us, especially us up here on stage. And I'm really happy we could be here at Madison Square Garden. The Halloween right around the corner. Back in the day, Misfits used to play every Halloween and just fuck shit up. You all ready, Joey? Yeah? This next song is a fucked up love song about cutting off funeral spaces and hanging on the road. You can sing along if you want. This is called Skulls.
This was amazing. Look at this.
But holy shit.
Unbelievable. And she was a bass player. She was a fucking bass player. We would later find that out. Fucking
Hey, Jerry, I know 10 more people who want bases up front.
oh my God, that was. And there's that photo, that beautiful photo. All right, here's our thumbnail. Oh shit, we missed it. Man. Oh God. Just watching that, like I'm just reliving it. I'm like reliving the memories. You saw that girl, man. Like honestly, like when it comes to his fans, Jerry Only is the nicest motherfucking guy. I mean, what a fucking mensch to do something like that. That was sweet. What a sweet thing to do. Whoops. There we go. Oh, no, we want that. Yeah, that's what we want. So the highlight of the evening came towards the end. Wait a minute. Oh, I guess this was just the end. Okay. The highlight of the evening came towards the end. Here, I'll play this one. I'm going to play it with the music off. All right. So this is playing while that's going. The highlight of the evening came towards the end. I was on the floor, in and out of the mosh circle pit, depending on the song for most of the show. It was as violent as Chicago Riot Fest was, and I did get rocked in the mush by a lummox at the beginning. Yes, I got punched in the face. I forgot about that. But I felt nothing as I was possessed by the music and the energy around me. Along with me and the rest of the circle pit was a girl in a wheelchair. She was fierce and fearless, determined to have a good time, wheelchair or not. She spent pretty much the entirety of the show doing laps. Various crowd fiends would run interference, so she had minimum of a few feet, so that she had a minimum of a few feet to steer, negotiate the floor. No one pushed her. She wheeled herself. I was in awe of her and her strength, and did my part too when we would cross paths from time to time. She was as much of a rock star as the monsters performing their dark magic performance before us, and she got lifted up, as you saw, and Jerry handed her a bass. Just fucking nuts. Nick, I don't know if you're still here, but if you are, here's our Iggy Pop. Here's our little Iggy Pop, Iggy and the Stooges homage. There was not too much crowd surfing during the show until this girl in her wheelchair sparked a revolution. There she was, floating above the sea of people, supported by what I would only describe as heroes and nothing less. She was like Iggy, covered in peanut butter, on the night he famously walked across the crowd hand on foot with the Stooges in Cincinnati, Ohio in 1970. Supposedly, it was Stiv Bators who handed Iggy the peanut butter. As she floats angelically towards the stage, wheelchair and all, Jerry and Glenn take notice. The crowd is going nuts. Everything in Madison Square Garden has momentarily stopped for this girl floating above the crowd in her wheelchair. As you saw in the video speaks 1,000 words. There's a picture of her in the wheelchair, and that's me and her after she got her bass. There's no actor gesture that could better suit what Jerry did in that moment. He took off his non-broken, fully operational, custom-made Devastator bass guitar with glowing red Cyclops skull and hands it to the girl in the wheelchair. Apparently, she too is a bass player. And then this was a screenshot to prove it. And to top it all off, she's a bass player. She was in the pit almost the whole show. Yes, that's true. She was. I seen her while I was in there at one point. Something like 20 people fell over on top of her. I did not see that. I was a little concerned then. I'd seen her face roll. She was smiling and loving it. I want to salute everyone in that pit. When people feel everyone helped out so there would be no stampede, shit got crazy and somewhat violent, but no one was trying to break bone. It was fucking awesome. You know, I would criticize the way that dude wrote it, but I'm such a bad like on-screen reader that like it easily could have been me, although he really did write that terribly. It was Dave Grohl's wet dream, and he would be jealous. I'm not going to click on that link. Go to my blog and read it for yourself, and you can click on it. In some weird way, we all vicariously received that bass, or a piece of it, when Jerry handed it over. That moment was a souvenir for everyone to take home and talk about. I think it will be legendary in the years to come, and I truly believe that, man. That's truly how I felt about that. No matter how he conducts business, Jerry Only is truly one of the nicest, most generous musicians ever. This is just one of the many examples. No one can deny how awesome he is to his fans. In this regard, we Jews would call him a mensch. It was a great way to finish the show. According to the set list photos floating around Facebook, they played all but 3 songs with a 15-minute late start. Pretty amazing. All right, so here's some of the stuff. It's not going to let me zoom in on it. I would also like to, wait, what? I would also like to bring that. Oh, this dude did not spill a drop of his water. That's one of the photos. Just go to the blog and read the photos. There's a great photo of Robo's son, Vinny, with Jerry and Doyle. This is Jerry's customized, I think it's a Camaro. Pretty fucking cool. This is okay, this guy got one of the basses or something. They had a bass. This is great. Non-musical MSG. Why can't I fucking click on this? Father Time behind us telling about seeing the Misfits 3 times. 1979. Wait a minute. Could this be Tony? Was this you? Who else? Wait a minute. Who else could this be but Tony? Tony Matura. Now paging Tony Matura. Well, because Tony is an older gentleman, right? Because he was around back then. Father Time behind us telling us about seeing the Misfits 3 times, 1979 and twice in 1980, and his legitimate fear that Glenn would walk off stage for the 4th time and punch a kid in the face. I don't know. Well, Tony saw him 5 times, so maybe not. The chick in the wheelchair, the drunk idiot who kept wandering down, Jerry power sliding onto the stage with no music at all, and he would get a new bass. He just loved power sliding. Jerry is so enthusiastic. The drunk idiot who kept wandering down the aisle near us with lit cigarettes, even after being removed. The security guard lady who would lie in wait like a spider and pop out to bust people for walking down to our section like little drunk flies. Jerry has anger issues, says Glenn, as Jerry smashes his 8th bass. Here's one. October 19th was my 38th birthday. You only turn 38 once in your lifetime. I celebrate my 138 by seeing the original Misfits. That's cute. All right, here it is, man. Here it is. Look at this. Some interesting facts. God damn it. So far at the MSG show last night, by my count, ready? 3/4 of the classic 80 to 83 lineup, 3/4 of the Static Age lineup, 3/4 of the resurrected 95 Misfits lineup, Samhain the first lineup, 3/4 of the Samhain first lineup, 3/4 of the current Danzig lineup, 2/3 of the Jerry Fits twice over. Wow, because Jerry's son was there, Dez was there, and the goat was there. All of Sardonica, unfucking believable. And could you imagine being Dr. Chud and sitting up in a skybox? I don't know if Dr. Chud was on a guest list or not, but could you imagine being Dr. Chud and watching your bandmates, Jerry and Doyle, fucking selling out Madison Square Garden while you're fucking playing in Pennsylvania or whatever, like with strippers on a stripper pole, like taking fucking 3 years to make a fucking music video? God, what wow, that would suck. That would bum me the fuck out. Fucking just sitting in that skybox jerking off going, that should be me. That should be me. It's not me. Sorry, that was really rude of me. I could not help myself. But God, you don't need to God, what a fucking loser. Sorry. Sorry, that was incredibly negative. So anyway, yeah, it was just a really great show. Really, really, really great show. And that's all there is to it. Supposedly, this is the last show, although no one said anything of the sort, and we've heard it all before. I am sure if the offer is right, that won't be the case. There's just too much money to be made. Could you blame them? They deserve it. All of it. They really don't. They really, really do. Interesting. Russell Casualty says 3/4 of Morning Noise was there as well. Boom. There you go. There you fucking go. That's nuts. Yeah, man. There's just too much money to be made. They're never gonna stop. They will only stop because of a pandemic or because there's no more money to be made. I don't think they'll ever stop. I don't think there's any argument, any fight that can get in the way of the money to be made. This is how Glenn is. I'm sure, I don't know for a fact, but I would imagine this is how Glenn has financed his making 2 movies, and Jerry, who was like, fuck you, I will tour as my version of the Misfits. No amount of money will make me sit and wait a full year. Jerry is getting paid so fucking well and having such a great reception and receiving so much respect for his place in the band and what he is doing with the band that Jerry is willing to wait a whole year just to play one show or wait a whole year just to play 3 shows. You know what I mean? Like, that's how good the situation is for these guys, at least from an outside perspective. Who knows the inner turmoil, if there is such? But from an outside perspective, unfucking unbelievable. The merch, I mean, the only thing that they're missing is the thing that would really be printing money would be to re-release all the fucking Misfit songs on vinyl, right? To re-release everything, repress it all on vinyl, the way that Slash Ruby Records, or whoever owns Slash Ruby Records, is repressing the 108th, the 138th edition of Walk Among Us, and those things, the moment that they sell out, are worth $150 on eBay. They would be printing money. And as I said recently on the Facebook page, fucking Glenn, what are you waiting for, dude? Reprint that Samhain catalog, man. It's printing money. If you're gonna do as many pressings in different colors as you have for Danzig Sings Elvis, man. I mean, you're essentially flooding your market with variants for your latest album. Why not flood the market with Samhain? And that stuff will appreciate in value. People will fucking buy it. Fans will go crazy for it. Imagine, like, God, I'm trying to think, like, I don't know, something like some sort of like a fire red November Coming fire. Oh my God, with orange and red streaks. I mean, just the orange alone is beautiful in and of itself. I wonder if I don't know, but I'm sure that someone in a Misfits related collector could tell me. does having reissued vinyl, does that make the original stuff even more valuable? Does that bring up the value or does that devalue it? Because you're saturating the market with more copies of the recordings, but still a first press is a first press is a first press. It's like you can repress how many of Action Comics one over and over and over again, and they might accrue value, but there's nothing is ever going to be as valuable as the original Action #1. So that's what I wonder. I wonder what is it, what makes it the most valuable? A box set of vinyl. Holy shit. Could you imagine? Now I sound like I'm on Misfit Central again, just chatting about that, you know. Speaking of November coming fire. Okay, ready? I'm going to show you. So again, if anybody wants to read, I'm going to put this in the comment box one more time. If anybody wants to read or click on the links to this or just click on the ads to put some pennies in my AdSense account, feel free. I am going to unveil the first of many t-shirt designs. Now, again, I'm not printing these up myself. There's no pressure. There's no financial pressure for me. Like, none of this is like hurting me in any way, shape, or form. I'm just putting this out there as an additional way to support the creation of this stuff. I'm trying to build this. I'm trying to build this brand. I'm trying to create something that, besides obviously the content is the thing of value, but to give back something physical for, you know, people's support, as opposed to just buying cups of coffee, which is greatly appreciated. Truly, thank you, Umberto and Dave being the latest ones, in addition to everybody else. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna press up. I'm gonna create some designs. You know, I do a little bit of Photoshop. What I'm gonna do, let me see if I can find it here. I have it right here. Right here. I'm gonna pull this up. Okay, so here it is. Now, you're gonna fucking laugh at this. You might think it's stupid. This is the November coming fire. The November Fire sour cream hoodie, sour cream t-shirt, sour cream design, whatever you want to call it. That's the apparel, and you can get you can get it on a mug. You can get it on a phone case. And this is a joke. No one's gonna get this. Like, that's what's so funny about it. Like, you can get it in a variety of t-shirts. Now, some of the t-shirts are like different quality. I went by their price points or whatever. This is just one of the t-shirts. You walk down the street. Now, you walk down the street with a Crimson Ghost, and people will know what a Crimson Ghost is, right? Like, people know what the Crimson Ghost is. But like, you walk down with sour cream on your shirt and someone goes, "Oh, sour cream," they'll really get the inside joke if they've been on, you know, Misfit Central or whatever. So that's the first of many designs. This is November Fire sour cream, pure and natural. The third batch of that. And this is available in the web store, I guess. I don't know. Let me see if this is your URL is right here. So you can go here to check out all the items. I have more designs coming, and I'll be pimping this shit, you know, just showcasing it. But really nothing more than that. Not gonna shove it down people's throats to the best of my ability. But John says, "Thank you so much for showcasing our cover of Wolf's Blood. Could you maybe play our big?" All right, let pull it up, John. We'll close out with Toxic. Well, hold on, John. John, hold on one second. Is Toxic Swamp going to come up as an ID tag when I throw this up on YouTube? If so, I would prefer. Well, I guess I could just cut it out. All right. Put it up. Send me the link, John. Send me the link. Okay. I'll do it here. This is I can't, wow, it's not letting me, why can I not? I can't hit it. All right, hold on one second. I'm gonna have to go out here. Just a minute. Sour cream. Okay, so for those who don't fucking get it, November coming fire, sour cream, because it sounds like instead of Samhain Grim, it sounds like he's saying sour cream. That was the joke. That's the thing that we all laugh about. And I thought I've never seen it on a t-shirt. I thought it would be funny on a t-shirt. So if you want to get some November sour cream, you can get an Android case, you can get a coffee mug, you can get a t-shirt, and of course, here I think the hoodie is really nice. This is a zip-up hoodie. I might actually buy one myself. I think I need to own that. I even have to buy them myself because it's print on demand. Okay, we're gonna play this for John here. Oh shit. We're gonna play this track for John and close out the show. Hold on. This is okay. So this is Toxic Doom. Ooh, I love the cover. Look at this cover art. That's really cool. Look at that. That's Voice of Doom, people. Check out that cover art. And he's already posted the link. You can get this vinyl for $10. Look at that. It's on swamp green vinyl. That is beautiful. Wow. You guys have a record label? You put that out yourself? How did you do that? That's pretty cool. It's got 2 songs on it. The lyrics. Deep down in the Meadowlands, a poison lake that'll melt off your hands. Green radiation glow at the end of Murhoff Road. This toxic swamp will put you under, over and under. Beware the creatures boiling slumber, over and under. Mafioso watery graves, mutated carp that'll feed on your face. This man thing lurks around, contaminates little fairy town. This toxic swamp will pull you under, over and under. The gates will close behind you, over and under, over and under. All right, we're going to play this in 1 second to close out the show. Russell says, put that butter spread on bread. Okay. Well, that'll go in the queue. I've got a bunch of designs ahead, but we'll get that up there too. No, I'm not gonna take those. That's for you, man. You do that. I'll put that on my store, but that's for you. You invented that, not me. I'm not gonna do that. That's your design, man. I appreciate that though, truly. Okay, so we're gonna play this. We're gonna play this original song called "Toxic Swamp" by Voice of Doom, and I guess Pyrrhic Victory Records. So a Pyrrhic Victory. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but I believe it's called a Pyrrhic Victory. That's from like Greek times, and what it means, Pyrrhic Victory Recordings. Yeah, so that type of victory, it's basically a victory where you don't win or your winning is futile. Oh man, now I'm gonna have to look that shit up. It's gonna bother me if I don't, unless this is some sort of pun. Is this a pun on the actual word? Here you go. That's what it is. All right, Russell, I'll use it. Pyrrhic. So it's Pyrrhic. That's how you pronounce it. Pyrrhic Victory. Won at too great a cost to have been worthwhile for the victor. So that's what it is. The juice is not worth the squeeze. That's what it is. And it's from Greek times, when the Greeks would fight wars, and that's a Pyrrhic victory. And I believe it comes from a Pyrrhic war, maybe there was the Pyrrhic War, and that's where that situation happened at that war. I don't know. I'm pulling that out of my ass. I think that might be correct. All right. Without further ado, we're going to close this out. John, I hope this doesn't ID tag me. I want to keep it on YouTube. It benefits you because it goes on my YouTube, and then more people see it. Not that there are a lot of people are watching, but more people see it if I don't get ID tags. So I hope I don't get ID tags, is all I'm saying. I did that once. I did a show where I had people's original recordings, and I couldn't, it was muting the soundtrack. It sucked. I was so annoyed. But for you, John, I'm doing this. I'm doing this for you, John. All right. Ready. Let's listen. Toxic Swamp by the Voice of Doom. Ooh, I like that. So I really like the production on this record. It's got, I don't know what, I mean, well, I love that thing at the end, but the guitars are crunchy in a very nice way. And I just like, I don't know what you did a lot with the production, truly. There's a lot going on there. I don't know. I have to listen to that again, but it's like, it kind of has that feeling, like it was done on purpose, by the way, that it feels like it's like like it's been dragged through the mud, I guess almost like a toxic swamp in a way. Very well done. Well done. Voice of Doom, John, crushing it. What's it? Wait, hold on. What's your stage name? There is Evilheim from the Voice of Doom, crushing it. And I got to tell you, this is a really nice release. Look at this, guys. There's only 12 of these left, so check it out. Purchase it on the Bandcamp. I mean, that's really a lot of tender loving care went into this release. That's surely to be some sort of collectible, because there's only 100 of these and only 12 remain. So check out this band, check out Voice of Doom, give them a like on Facebook, support independent music, support independent horror. Thank you all for supporting this channel in general. Oh, we got a sale from Francois. So how do you like that? Just from hearing it on the air. I love that, man. That nothing makes me happier than when people shit gets fucking purchased because it gets heard. That's fucking cool. That is really cool. So good. Okay, so till next week's show, I will be putting more of my t-shirt designs up. I will try not to be obnoxious about it. And these are fan unauthorized designs about in relation to horror punk. That's what we'll call them. That's what they are. Okay, guys, thank you so much. Great show, lots of fun. I gotta get to sleep. Till next week. Peace and hair grease.